comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling. Cut the chatter.
Alright, so the background's back to normal. You know, we don't have any of the Christmas stuff up anymore. Sad, even though I'm literally recording this on Christmas Day. Whatever. Merry Christmas to everyone who's watching this, if it comes out on Christmas Day. But anyway, I have all my 2018 movies right there for the next 2 videos because this is the 10 worst films of 2018. I should be calling this the 10 worst films I saw in 2018, but no, I swear to God, I feel like I saw the bottom of the barrel. This year ended up being so much worse than I thought it was going to be in terms of how low it got. This year hit lows that no other year has ever hit, in my opinion. Granted, the worst movie of the year is not as bad as last year's worst, but yeah, this year kind of sucked sometimes. I mean, there's a lot of movies this year that I absolutely loved, but a lot of the movies this year I absolutely hated. And you might be thinking, oh, he doesn't have a very good top 10. No, I'm going to prove to you that I have a great top 10 by reading off some honorable mentions. These honorable mentions, it's quite surprising that these are all only honorable mentions. Venom, The Hurricane Heist, Goosebumps 2, I don't know how this one's Samson, and I don't know how this one's an honorable mention, but Breaking In. Those 5 movies are my honorable mentions for the worst movies of 2018. I'm actually really excited to be here because let's just get it off like a band-aid, you know. Let's rip this stupid list off. This is the 10 worst films of 2018, and all those honorable mentions really sucked. So if those are on the 10 worst, you can imagine the type of stuff we're going to see on the 10 worst.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Trust nothing.
Darling, time for dinner. Are you lost?
Disney hit some really hard lows this year, and one of those is A Wrinkle in Time, because this movie, while I gave it a 4 to 10 in my review, this movie's an easily a low 3 at this point. This movie is incoherent, boring, you don't care about anything that happens. A 10 worst movies of the year would be incomplete without A Wrinkle in Time, the most lame Disney movie I've seen in a while, except for later on this list we'll get to one that's even lamer. But wow, I cannot believe that this is only number 10. This movie sucked. The acting was bad. The only thing I really liked out of this movie was the visuals. Everything else, no. If you haven't seen A Wrinkle in Time, you're lucky, because this movie was utter garbage.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
I think Clint Eastwood, when making the 1517 to Paris, basically just thought, hey, why don't we make this a movie? Because granted, I think Clint Eastwood is a great director. He's a great director. Ever since the 1517 to Paris, I've gotten more into his stuff. I really like Clint Eastwood. And, I don't know what really went wrong here. This movie was really, really, really boring and really lame. It was just such a boring, lame movie. I don't know why they got the original people for the cast, because they all sucked. And the movie was boring, and you know, it's basically the life of a man. It's not interesting. It's basically just life, the movie. That's not interesting. We all live life. It's not relatable, it's not interesting. The best sequence of this entire movie is the train scene. And even that got boring by the end. And then they have this really long and drawn-out speech at the end. While this movie did have good intentions, this was a boring movie. Like, this movie was boring.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
I'm Sherlock Gnomes, sworn protector of garden gnomes.
You mean, except for the one you literally just broke?
Broken? Who's broken? Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, the 10 worst of the year would be totally incomplete without Sherlock Gnomes. I wouldn't have felt that guilty if this ended up being an honorable mention, because it's just bad. Like there's nothing that... And this movie sucks in every way. It's boring, the characters suck, the plot sucks. But the thing about this movie is that, what did you expect? It's Sherlock Gnomes. Like, what do you think you're gonna get out of that? This is a really, really, really bad movie. I was very, very surprised by how bad this movie ended up being. It was actually better than I thought, because I was thinking 2 out of 10. It ended up being a 3 out of 10 for me. But this movie's just, it's inoffensive, I guess. But I highly recommend you don't watch this movie. This boring, unfunny, very short, lazy movie that I reviewed once, and I barely ever thought about again. It's just a bad movie. It's Sherlock Gnomes. It's simply just it's just bad.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
Welcome to our world. The land of snowflakes. The land of flowers. And the land of sweets.
Remember what I said with A Wrinkle in Time with Disney hitting some real lows? A Nutcracker in the Four Realms is the lowest low Disney's hit in 13 years. Whew. This movie was bad. This movie is the perfect combination of cringe, cliche, and boring. Just all smashed together in this one bad movie. Just this one bad, lame movie. There's a couple things, there's like almost nothing I actually really loved about this movie. The visuals feel very limited to me. Like, there are some really, whoever designed the costumes, props to them, and I feel bad for them. They're designing costumes for Nutcracker in the Four Realms. But this movie was just, it's Nutcracker in the Four Realms. You expected it to be bad. You got a really bad, like, way worse than anyone expected this movie to be. This movie flat out sucked.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money. This is
We can fight back.
We don't have to stay in darkness.
You know what else is like just the worst version of this movie? The Darkest Mind, just the worst version of Nutcracker in the Four Realms. Because this movie has worse visuals, it's more boring, and it's more cringy, and it's more lame, and it's more soulless, and just sucks the soul. It feels like it's trying to suck the soul in me and choke me with my soul. Like, turn into a string, just choke me with it. The only thing that really puts this movie, like, not that much higher than Nutcracker in the Four Realms is because the main characters of the movie, I really like the actress who played the main character in The Darkest Minds. Granted, she only had one other year this year, The Hate U Give, which is one of the best movies of the year, and she did great in that movie, and she was fine in this movie. Mackenzie Foy, Nutcracker in the Four Realms sucked. But this movie's worse than Nutcracker in the Four Realms because I can't watch this movie ever again. It's literally impossible. If it's like a movie night, I'm not going to see The Darkest Minds ever again. This is the last time I'll ever talk about this movie. Please, because this movie can't set up a franchise. It bombed at the box office. Thank God, because this movie really sucked.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
What is that thing?
It's okay. I met him in the forest.
Thing about Woody Woodpecker is that I don't really want to include it because I just didn't think it was interesting at all, or interestingly bad, but you kind of have to. You kind of have to, because I gave it like a very low 2 out of 10 because this movie sucks. It's really bad, but it's not the worst thing of the year. Like, it's not the worst thing you've seen all year. There's some really bad movies later on this list. But, yeah, this movie really sucks. Like, it's pretty offensive, actually, and it's, no human should be tortured or have to witness this garbage, but, yeah, it really sucks. It's not much to say, it just really sucks.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
How do we get out of this game alive?
You can't.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Truth or Dare is actually not the worst thing ever. I put this movie only at number 4 because this movie ended up being the only movie this year, the literal only movie this year that had, or I guess other movies this year had so bad as good movies. The House of the Clock and Its Walls had a couple. But this movie is the only movie this year that truly I could confidently say was so bad, it was good. It is boring a lot of the time, but any other time when they're doing the dumb faces, when they're running to the monsters, I would be lying if I said I didn't have a good laugh watching this movie, because this movie is bad, the characters are lame, the acting sucks, the visuals suck, it's not terrifying at all, it's stupid. It actually is an interesting premise, believe it or not. I actually like the premise of this movie, but it really, really, really flopped, and I think this movie, I don't think this movie was terrible. I mean, it's terrible. It's flat out sucks. I hated it, but I also kind of enjoyed it too. I'm not going to buy this one on DVD because there's too many boring moments to it. But yeah, this movie sucks, but it is quite funny sometimes.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
Our plan is working. Now we see who bites.
If you enjoyed Robin Hood, explain your ways, because, like, explain how you did it. Because I didn't enjoy a second of Robin Hood. This is the worst adaptation I've ever gotten of Robin Hood. It might be the worst we'll ever get. Because this movie was so bad. This movie was really lame, really boring. It's here's a perfect way to describe it. Remarkably uninteresting. It's just remarkably uninteresting. Just, you don't care about the characters. It totally changes stupid things from the book. The acting sucks. Just, this movie's an absolute train wreck. It's not entertaining. It's not fun. It doesn't have any fun moments to it at all. The action's just like, it like slows down, go fast, slow down. It sucks. This movie is terrible, and it's the worst action movie of 2018. But we're in the top 2 now. Here we go. These 2 next ones were 2 movies that I hated so much. They're possibly some of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. And the top 2, either order of them would have been fine with me. But I put them in this order for a good reason. Right, let's just get into it. The second, let's do it.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
I can still
I hated Slender Man so much. Oh my god. I don't get it. What happened? This movie is so bad. It is so bad. It is the most boring movie of the year easily. This movie fails on every level. This movie just crashed and burned, and I hated it. The characters suck. When you actually finally see Slender Man, he's this big CGI monster, and you're just like, I hate you so much, movie. Why did you even? This movie's really slow. It's really boring. It is boring. Like, really boring. I cannot believe how bad this movie ended up being. You hear Slender Man, you know it's gonna suck, but I did not expect it to suck as bad as it did. This is the second worst film of 2018. I have no idea how this movie did end up being the worst. But the number 1 worst film of 2018, you know it, I know it, we already know what it is, don't we? Yep, we do. Here we go!
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
From the director of Beverly Hills Chihuahua, The Smurfs, and Scooby-Doo.
What's that?
Bikini wax?
What?
Of course, this is the worst film of 2018. Did you really think Slender Man was going to be the worst? Did you really think it? This movie sucks. This is the terrible movie. This Show Dogs is terrible. I cannot believe. The perfect way to describe this movie is, what sick-minded idiot wrote this movie? Who wrote this? Who thought that a drug joke in a kid's movie about a dog wanting cocaine, or not cocaine, catnip, you know, they're trying to emphasize cocaine, you know, it sucks. I have no idea how bad this movie, how this actually happened. Oh, wait, there's no more stupid stuff. There was a scene that caused so much controversy, which is another reason why this has to be number 1. This has to be number 1. The scene where they kind of encourage sexual harassment. I saw this movie a bit too late for me to actually see that. But I famously hate Show Dogs. I hated everything about this movie. I hated the acting, the characters, the visuals are sickening. They disgust me. This movie is awful. And there's no surprise that it's the worst film of 2018, but believe it or not, Slender Man was actually pretty close. But I picked Show Dog for number 1 for the specific reason of my just general, it ruined my day. Like, Slender Man I saw at night, but I saw this movie in early morning. It ruined my day. I hated my day after this. And no one liked this movie, not even kids liked this movie, from what I knew at least. Like, this movie got hated by everyone. It's not one of those movies where it's like, there's the small subculture of people that aren't kids that like the movie. There's none of that. Just, everyone just agrees, this movie sucks. And I agree, this is the worst film of 2018. Hands down, I hated this movie. In every way. But of course, you guys have your own opinions on what are the 10 worst of the year. Let me know in the comments section below. What are your 10 worst movies of 2018? The best movies of 2018 will be coming up soon. I'm pretty excited to do that because I like talking about the good more than the bad. Definitely. But of course, why did it do worst over best? Like the first one is worst, the second one's best. First off, worst is going to get like twice the views. So I feel like we should end the year off with the good list, not the bad list. I mean, this year was actually not that terrible of a year, movie-wise. I mean, this list kind of proves that this year did have some crappy movies. But yeah, I didn't hate this year as a whole. I thought it was an okay year. Yeah, that was the worst movies of the year. See you guys next time. Bye!